Hello, everyone. If you had $50,000 laying around to invest and turn it into over $15 billion, would you do it? This is the story of the people that did exactly that. This is also the story of the people that rejected the opportunity to do so, and therein lies the lesson for this chapter. Before we proceed, please watch videos number 17 through 25 to fully grasp the context of this chapter. Remember, all our chapters are sequentially numbered and listed on YouTube as a playlist. This is a story that I appreciate a lot. It is the story of a woman whose journey begins in the face of adversity because she chose to play the game of life on a hard level. As a pregnant teenager in 1960s living in Albuquerque, New Mexico, she was met with a lot of judgment and barriers. School administrators told her that she could not finish her education, and the society had already written her off. But she refused to be defined by those limitations. With unwavering resolve, she convinced the school to let her return. However, the conditions that they imposed on her were harsh and humiliating, isolating her from other students, limiting her social interactions, and even excluding her from the graduation ceremony. Yet, she pushed forward, driven by a vision of her own potential and a better future for her child. Her struggles were not over yet. After divorcing her son's father when he was just 17 months old, she found herself juggling the responsibilities of single motherhood and seeking work. She wasn't good at typing, yet she secured a job requiring that exact skill and paid $190 per month, just enough to get her and her son their own apartment. With no money for a phone to stay in touch with her parents, her father gave her a walkie-talkie so she could check in with them each day. Even in these difficult times, she held on to her dream of further education. She was very open, receptive, and teachable, and her desire to continue learning was so strong that she enrolled in night school. Determined not to let the motherhood stop her, she attended classes with her baby by her side, armed with 2 duffel bags, one filled with textbooks and the other with baby supplies. In those night school classes, she met with the man who would change their lives, a Cuban refugee who embraced them as his own. Yet again, life intervened. Her new husband's job required them to move, and her dreams of a college degree were delayed once again. But she never abandoned that goal. Years later, after sending her own children off to college, the yearning to complete her education re-emerged. More than 2 decades after graduating from high school, she finally crossed the milestone and earned her college degree. Her son inherited some of her wonderful qualities. He became a hedge fund manager, and by age 30, he felt a calling to quit his job and start his own company. So he started a company, and he had a vision of his own regarding what this company can become. However, he needed to raise funds to make that vision a reality. Raising funds for a company, by the way, is not a small task. He held 60 different meetings, mostly with family and friends, tirelessly pitching his idea to convince them of his vision. Despite his efforts, he faced numerous rejections. He was willing to offer 1% ownership of his growing company for just $50,000. Yet, the vast majority of the people who had the money rejected his offer. Once again, the woman and her husband rose to meet the challenge, standing by their son's vision when it mattered the most. They secured $300,000, likely their entire life savings, to fuel his dream. Their belief and early investment in their son's vision not only supported him, It helped create Amazon, one of the most successful companies in the world. That woman was Jacqueline Bezos. The boy she carried through night school was Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Today, Jacqueline Bezos and her husband Mike are among the wealthiest families on earth, with a net worth nearing $30 billion. Out of 60 people, not counting the immediate family, only 18 of them had the depth of vision to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Depth of vision is the lesson to learn from this story. We are not teachable if we lack the depth of vision. Depth of vision refers to the ability to see beyond our current manifested reality, recognizing the potential of ideas, individuals, opportunities, or situations far into the future and long before they materialize in the manifested reality. Those with depth of vision can predict future outcomes and act accordingly, even when the path is uncertain or unconventional, allowing them to seize opportunities at the ground floor that others might overlook or dismiss. This is what separates achievers from non-achievers. Remember, the greatest surfers don't wait for the wave to form fully. They anticipate it, positioning themselves to ride it just as it begins to rise. This is a vital concept. Many fail to develop the depth of vision because they base their decisions only on their current reality, which is basically the reflection of the past vibrational projection. They only see the value in something that has already been proven and become mainstream. Understand this: if one's decisions are based on the past projection, they are sure to miss the wave of the future. If you want to catch the fish, you must strike where it will be, not where it is. The key is to anticipate what ideas, people, opportunities, and situations can become. Remember that aligning yourself with the next big thing when it is still at the ground floor is one of the easiest ways to manifest your desires and stay ahead of the curve. Now, I'm going to make some bold statements. No matter which vibrational island you find yourself on, the universe provides you with abundant opportunities to achieve your desires. It's very likely that the next big idea, person, opportunity, or situation you need is already present in your life. The real challenge isn't finding it, it's recognizing it, and developing the depth of vision is the key to recognizing it. Remember that. Before we dive into the next concept, I want to emphasize that right now we are just laying the foundation with these concepts without going in too deep. If you're aiming to build something substantial and lasting, it's crucial to first establish a solid foundation. That's exactly what we're doing with these concepts, creating a foundation that will allow us to build something substantial on top of it as we continue our journey together. The next concept is this: we are not teachable when we judge a book by its cover. Here's a story to illustrate this point. A man named William was walking to his car when his cell phone rang. William picked up his phone, and as he engaged in conversation, he casually leaned against a nearby car without realizing it. The owner of the car approached, judged William based on his appearance, and treated him with disrespect for touching his car. William usually dressed in an ordinary manner, and the car owner's reaction was purely based on how William appeared to him. Now let's rewind a few months before that incident to the day when I first met William. This was around the time I was going through my own frustrating process of finding investors for our tech company. One day out of the blue, one of my business contacts invited me to lunch because he was in the area. William happened to be at that lunch table among others. At that lunch, I was just being myself, cracking jokes and keeping everyone entertained. However, I noticed something different about William. Regardless of his ordinary appearance, he was very sharp, attentive, and asked questions that cut straight to the heart of things. His appearance was certainly something that did not match his aptitude, and I knew there was something more to him than met the eye. William had such a great time at that lunch. He mentioned that he had never laughed that hard in his entire life. So we kept in touch after that lunch and learned more about each other. Eventually, William ended up becoming the chief investor in our company. He turned out to be a wealthy businessman. Even after completing a multi-million-dollar investment in our company, William still had more than $30 million just sitting in his bank account. And that was just one of his bank accounts. That is the lesson in not judging a book by its cover. Like the owner of that car, many are conditioned to judge people based on superficial indicators and not their substance or character. Judging people on their appearance can be very inaccurate in developed countries where people have access to credit cards and lines of credit. According to the data from 2023, around 46% of people in one developed country carried credit card debt. In other words, half of the people you meet in that country are living a lifestyle they can't afford. The phrase champagne taste on a beer budget refers to individuals that do not understand the concept of living below their means, which is a valuable lesson taught in financial education courses. In contrast, financially savvy individuals understand the power of living below their means and prioritizing saving and investing. Take William, for example. Despite being able to afford any luxury car, he chooses to drive an old Cadillac truck with over 250,000 miles on it. Or Warren Buffett, whose nearly 150 billion net worth hasn't swayed him from living in the same modest house he bought in 1958 for just $31,500. Neither of them feel the need to flaunt wealth or seek approval through material displays. The real lesson here is to value people for their substance and their character. Remember that. This is also a good time to point out that when I reference famous people like Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or others, it doesn't mean I endorse everything they represent. I'm simply pointing out the positive aspects of their stories that are worth learning from. That's it for this chapter. May the source be with you and have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Matt, for sharing this information. To those listening, sharing is caring. Share this video with 7 people and septuple your luck today.
This publication is protected by U.S. and international copyright laws with all rights reserved. It is free to share and only personal, non-commercial use in its original form without any edits is allowed. For commercial use permit, visit SonyMattandSource.com. No part of this publication may be reproduced by any mechanical, photographic, or electronic process, or in the form of a phonographic recording, nor may it be stored in a retrieval system, transmitted, or otherwise be copied for public or private use, other than for fair use as brief quotations embodied in articles and reviews without prior written permission of the publisher. The creators of this publication do not dispense medical advice or prescribe the use of any technique as a form of treatment for physical or medical problems without the advice of a physician, either directly or indirectly. Any information in this publication is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Consult your physician before beginning any diet, nutrition, or fitness plan or lifestyle changes. The intent of the creators is only to offer information of a general nature to help you in your quest for emotional and spiritual well-being. In the event you use any of the information in this publication for yourself, the creators and the publisher assume no responsibility for your actions, and you agree to release the creators and the publisher and anyone and everyone from any and all liabilities.